Hello, my fellow Taurians. I always get excited when I get to this sign because I'm a Taurus also. And I always love to see what I pull for us, right? I was guided to do these September bonus readings because today is actually the new harvest moon in Virgo. We've got some big we've got some big moon energies coming in. And we've had some very heavy energies the past couple of days, leading up to the 9/11, and then all of that energy that kind of brings us back down as we kind of rehash and look at that time in our life here in the US, of those terrorist attacks and the story behind all of that and the speculation, etc. But Spirit wanted me to share with you this new moon energy as it's in Virgo. The thing that it's going to help us do now, Virgo is now direct again, and I think Mercury retrograde is going to go direct here pretty soon. So then, I mean, right now we still have 6 planets in retrograde. But this new moon energy, you use the new moon energy to create your intentions, right? To create your manifestation. And some of the energies that Spirit had shared with me that is important for this specific new moon is that it will help us with our day-to-day life organization, right? So one of the things that I saw was, you know, people love to make lists of all the stuff and then they like to tick their boxes. And the reason why that is a really important exercise for us is because it mentally, as you're ticking those boxes, you're actually seeing progress. The ticks actually does something to us internally that makes us feel as though we're accomplishing and we're becoming more successful. So if you want to embrace that as an option for you, that's a really good thing to do. And then the other thing that Spirit was telling me that we're going to be building on our powers of healing. Powers of healing. That's our internal powers of healing. And as we transition kind of from the summer into this fall, Spirit was telling me how important it is for us to eat the root vegetables that are grown in the ground, right? Those really help us prepare for the winter, where in the winter time, we kind of all go within, very similar to the cyclical nature of Earth, which is what we are as Earth signs, is as we get into the winter time, we kind of close down a little bit more. We go more within, we become more quiet, just like the trees drop off all their leaves and they go a little bit dormant, and bears hibernate, all that kind of stuff. So that's where we're gearing towards, and one of the reasons why we need to think about our powers of healing. So the other thing that Spirit had taught me from a long time ago, and this is an exercise that I do every new moon. I always do these on the eclipses too, the equinoxes and the eclipses. I utilize that moon energy as much as possible. I just have this affinity with the moon anyway. But I just take a regular piece of paper and I put this big, huge circle on my piece of paper, which I did this morning. These are my intentions for what I want to create, what I want to bring into my life, what I want to solidify in my mind as my creations. And then anything on the outside are things I'm ready to release and let go of. Now, you can do this exercise for yourself, but you can also do this not only for yourself, but you can do this for family members, or you can do this for humanity as a whole. So, for example, one of the things that I have inside my circle is I would love to have world peace. I would love to have world prosperity. Some of the other things that I put in there was positive outcomes, higher self-integration, positive energy, inner happiness, deeper intuition, clear communication. Those are all things that I really want to work on for myself. Oh, and one of the ones I just added just a little while ago was big belly laughs. I don't know about you, But I find big belly laughs where you're just really just, you know, feeling that happiness and that joy and you're laughing really hard. It's just so healthy, right? It just gives you a beautiful reset. And then some things that I put on the outside were to remove personal blocks. Violence was a big one. Cruelty in the world, cruelty to animals, homelessness. What are some other ones? Poverty, judgment of others, procrastination. One of my big ones that I even circled it was evil. We have a lot of evil here. So anyway, that's kind of what you can do. That's a great exercise. And then some people will burn their paper, they'll destroy their paper, they'll tear it up, they'll do something so that it just releases that energy out. I keep mine. I like to look back and see where my mind was when I was creating these. What were the circumstances in my life at that time? What did I actually create that came to fruition? How long did it take? Those kind of things. So it's really up to you how you want to utilize that, if at all. You know, this is just an option for you. The last thing that Spirit really wanted me to talk to you about was our attention and our focus. And it's really important, especially now during this time, because we are in a spiritual warfare, right? You have to realize we are in a big spiritual warfare. And what Spirit kept telling me was kind of where your attention goes is where your energy flows. So if you find yourself dwelling in the darker thoughts, dwelling in the shadow, dwelling into the darker aspects of ourselves, right? Those are the things that you're going to create. And what they explained to me, the way it was explained to me, the way it was shown to me, was that the dark side, because it's had its separation from the God source, it separated and decided that it was going to worship, you know, Satan and Lucifer, or, you know, Baal and all those other dark entities instead of God, which is of goodness and of hope and of joy and of peace. They've created that separation from the God source. And because of that, especially the darker entities that have been around for a really long time, you know, they're in the lower astral realm of the fourth dimension. And we're working now through this upper level of the third dimension, working towards the fifth dimension. So we are definitely in contact with these dark entities and energies all the time now. And it's up to us as to how we want to create our world. What do we want to see in our world? We are the creators. We are still connected to the God source. We create through love. We create through that energy. And what the dark side does is it throws out information to us in the form of movies, videos, news, social media, especially the news, right? The news is definitely captured. It's captured, right? Captured by the dark side. They manage all of the media. But what I was being told was where your attention goes, your energy flows. And one of the things that I was told was when you focus in fear on the really big things, like the big scary thing, whatever that scary thing is for you, whether that is World War III, they're talking about potentially starting a world war, like all these divisions and, you know, them devaluing our money and all that stuff that you could be focusing on out there that you really have no control over. You have control over the things inside of you. But if you focus on those really big, scary things, we are the ones that are creating it. They give you the idea, and then you sit and you think about all of that, which brings that into manifestation. So we have to take ownership of what happens, because we They are using us as creator beings to create it for them because they can't create it on their own. They need us. They need our divinity. They need our permission. They need our acceptance of what it is that they want to throw at us. So if you dwell in those energies, you're creating that, and you have to take ownership of it. We as a society have to take ownership that we allowed all of this to happen, right? So one of the people that I listen to, Pam Gregory, she's an astrologer. I've been watching her for years and years. She's a very good astrologer. She's here on YouTube. You can find her. Pam Gregory Astrology is her channel. But she said something the other day that just struck me, and it just resonated with me so deeply. And she said, what we want to do is we want to starve out the scary and love in the good. That is so perfect. Starve out the scary, love in the good. Okay. Just take a deep breath. Okay, so the next thing was I have done some videos. I've had a couple of people ask me about the crystals that I use and how I choose them and why. Well, I let Spirit tell me what crystals I need for any group of readings that I do. And I have a lot of crystals. I've been collecting them since a childhood. But these specific ones all have specific meanings. And this stone right here is called a noble serpentine. It's got the dark greens in it. It's a beautiful stone. I think it originates from like Washington State, and there's other places that it comes from, but this piece came from Washington State. The energy of this stone is representative of healing on multiple levels. It helps clear your chakras. So it helps with chakra clearing. It stimulates crown chakra because it opens up your psychic abilities, right? So I feel like Spirit wanted me to use this crystal for these readings to help with those energies. So as people are tapping into their higher abilities, because we had worked on the throat chakra, and they want us to start bringing in that information from our higher self. This stone right here is called chrysocolla. Chrysocolla is an empowerment of the feminine energies, but it teaches us that genuine power is best expressed through gentleness. And I love this stone. It's a beautiful stone. It's the goddess stone. This stone right here is a combination of a bunch of different stuff within this stone. When I first saw this stone, I saw this shape right here that looked like a little baby's foot. Didn't that look like a little baby's boot? It's just like a little baby's boot. I was like, oh, this is just so cute. I had to get it. And it's weird, whatever, draws you to a stone, because ever since I just love this stone. I utilize this stone a lot. It's a great palm stone that you can use if you're going to do meditation. But it has chrysocolla in it, which has the goddess stone in it. And then it has shatukite, I think is how it's pronounced, which is a spiritual and psychic clarity stone. Malachite, which is about transformation and activate your heart chakra. Diaptase, which is about forgiveness and letting go. So that's a good one for releasing. And then ajoite, I think. Ajoite, something Ajoite, which is goddess Gaia, which is our planet, and helps with us to communicate with our angels and our spirit guides, higher self. This is a great stone. Does all kinds of really cool stuff. And then we have this green mica. Now, I really don't use this green mica, but I was told to bring it. And then when I looked up what the properties are, it's for balance and harmony. And it's also to promote feelings of love, peace, and happiness. And then I also use essential oils and essences of these sprays. There's a woman in the UK that makes these. This specific spray is for Mother Mary, so it's to bring in that feminine aspect, that beautiful, divine, feminine aspect. So I did use some of that spray right before when I came on, okay? So now I'm going to do your reading. I'm going to pull one single oracle card from the deck of the Magical Mermaid and Dolphins deck. And then I'm going to do a Celtic cross. And then at the very end, I'm going to pull 3 main themes for you to take with you as confirmation or affirmations, if you want to look at it that way. And the reason why I think Spirit had me work with this Angels and Dolphins or Mermaids and Dolphins deck, it's an old deck. I've had it for a long time. It's a Doreen Virtue deck, is because we are tapping into these higher elevations and higher dimensions. And one of the things that was brought to my attention was that the dolphins and the whales are 6-dimensional beings, yet they're here holding that energy of the 6th dimension here in the 3rd dimension. And the reason why that's important is because things don't always have to stay within their dimensional realms, is what that is trying to tell us, right? So we can bring down those higher energies and we can ground them here. And if you've ever been on a whale watch, or if you've ever been swam with the dolphins, right? You will realize how much when you're in their presence that they activate your heart chakra. They use sonar as their way of communication, right? Which is completely different than what we use. Yet we can feel that sonar when we are in their presence. And so it's kind of like this activation thing that happens. And it's just really beautiful. So anyway, I'm going to pull your card and we are going to start. So your card from the Dolphins and Mermaids is yes, your intuition is correct. Take action accordingly. So I don't know what this means to you. I know what it means for me. I didn't pull this card for me exclusively because I really pulled it for all of us Taurians. But that's a beautiful card and I love that. So yes, we are being supported. Okay, now I'm going to take myself off of you so you can concentrate just on the cards and not have to think about what I'm doing. Okay, here we go. Celtic cross. Wow. Wow. All right, let's move everybody over a little bit so I have enough room. Okay, Taurus, this is looking really good. Yeah. Yeah, baby. Okay. Here we go. So these are the things that are the most central to us, right now. And this is the direction that we're going to go long term and about what's, coming towards us. But right now we have got this Chariot card. Now, both of these cards are major arcana cards. And this was the card that actually represents our energy, which is the Chariot at this time. Now, the Chariot is a card of mastery, and it's a card of fast moving energy, right? So things are happening around us very quickly. The Chariot is about advancement and progression. And it's also about, it could represent people moving, just so that you know that some of you may be moving. The other thing that it represents is making headway, right? We're making headway. We're going full tilt towards our goals and the things that we're trying to create in our life. And we are advancing. So we're strongly and powerfully advancing in a very measured way. And the other thing about this energy is if you look at the dark and the light, right? The dark, this is kind of what we're doing as well. We're balancing all of those energies so that we're balanced within our creation. But whatever we're creating, we've got a lot of help from the other side, and it's all coming towards us quickly. Now, this is either what's hurting you or what's helping you. Is this card the Lovers? So the Lovers could represent relationships. It could represent the love of your life in this energy. Lovers have to do with partnership, duality, and love. I actually love the expression on this card because there's no mistaking that there's love between these two. You can feel it just swirling right there around, right? The other thing is this could have to do with relationships. That doesn't have to be a love relationship. It could be friendships, a closeness in friendship, a closeness, a feeling of that love vibration coming from that love vibration, embracing that love vibration. Could be family, could be commitments. It's two energies that come together because that's where it comes from, the duality. The other thing that I always recognize about this card is creating healthy boundaries for ourselves. Sometimes, not always, sometimes relationships get out of balance because one partner is dominant over the other partner is more submissive. And it's just this energy, and it could be just the way that you've set up your relationship, but at the same time, what we're working towards as people, as spirit in these bodies, is we're trying to retain our sovereignty so that we're not giving up our power. We're not acquiescing that energy to another person. It doesn't mean that you don't love that person or that you have to pull away from that person, but it's a card to me that indicates, you can stand up for yourself. You can ask for what you want in a relationship and not to settle for anything less. So that's kind of all the energies that I'm picking up on this. Then we have this Ace of Swords as a goal or what's on our minds. And the Ace of Swords is a card of an aha moment, right? She has something that's coming into her mind that is introducing her to a new way of thinking, a new concept, a new way of viewing life, a new point of view, right? And the swords have to do with how we express with our minds, how we think about things, how we share ideas, how we communicate, and how we come to decisions. So there's something brand new that's coming in. It's going to be something that's going to stimulate your mind. It's going to give you that aha moment. It could be very revelatory for your own path, because if you look, there's a staircase here, which I just noticed, the staircase, so that you can go up, right? You can go up in your spiritual path, right? Oh, that's what I'm picking up on that card. Okay. And then we have our foundation. So this is what we have got going on in terms of, it looks like we're going to have some choices coming in. And all of these cups have to do with your heart space. So some of these cups have sinister things, because not every cup is going to be something that's going to be for your highest and best, because here's this slithery snake kind of thing. One of the things that Spirit always tells me when this card comes up, I have to take a drink, excuse me. Spirit always tells me that when these Seven of Cups come up, which have to do with lots of choices, that we can be overwhelmed by the choices, that we can be in a state of indecision, right? So that's some of the energy that this taps into. And if you look at this guy, he really doesn't know which cup to choose. Spirit always tells me, just make the choice that aligns with your heart. because cups have to do with your emotions. What is going to make you feel the best? The other thing to be aware of, though, is to be aware that there are going to be things that are going to be like the big shiny baubles that will be tempting you to choose as an option. And there's nothing wrong with choosing that as your option. But in some ways, it can be, it can pull you off your path. And why I say that is because we can get so easily distracted by being a consumer type of society, right? So sometimes the choices that you make are the ones that are the most practical. And then some of the choices that you make are just out of because I want it. So this is a card of choices. Spirit always tells me, pick the one that resonates the highest with your heart. Hope you find that helpful. And then this is kind of our past energy, which is this Page of Cups. Pages have to do with messages. So this could be a message that you received in something that had to do with activating your heart space. Maybe you were waiting for someone to declare their undying love for you. The reason why I say that is because you see that his heart space is activated. His eyes are kind of like dreamy, right? This is kind of the dreamer right here. And you have these two, I don't know if you can see them. Let me see if I can pull this up here so you can see this a little better. But you've got these two hands extending with this heart in between. They're kind of creating that heart thing, you know, that people do, heart. And that's what that energy is representing. But this typically is a younger person, somebody that's kind of naive in love, that's kind of naive with their feelings, or kind of wear their feelings on, you know, their sleeve or something like that. So this could be energy that is, since it's in your past, could be something that is activated and has triggered something within you in terms of your heart space. And then this is your near future. So your near future is the Ace of Wands. So again, the Ace of Wands has to do with another aha moment. This has to do with the spark of inspiration. This has to do with the spark of creativity or passion that's being activated, right? So it looks like to me we're going to have these brand new options, these opportunities, and that's exactly what this is talking about. We've got these two opportunities that are coming in, which ties in with this Seven of Cups. So what this is saying is the Swords is going to be something that activates your mind, stimulates your mind. This is going to activate you to action, to passion, to activate your intuition. And when I look at her, that's exactly what I think of, is that she's really tying into her intuition. This is tapping into not only her crown chakra, but also her third eye, which is opening up, right? So this is a very powerful, powerful card. And then for your long-term energy, you've got the Ten of Cups. This is a beautiful, beautiful card. This means that, you know, happy life, happy wife, happy home. I mean, if you look, there's a lot of love here. You've got rainbows and, you know, unicorns and the whole thing going on. This is just a really beautiful energy that is coming in. Like you finally got to a place where you feel really stable in your relationships. You really feel really good, right? With this lovers energy here. I think it's activating both of those. And then we have the Hierophant. Now, the Hierophant, to me, this is about external influences. And what this card represents to me is he is all about self-actualization. He is about, if you look at him, he's totally blissed out. He's sitting here in the lotus position. He's going up this stairway. So he has made the decision he's going to ascend. He's bringing in his higher guru self. He's bringing in all of his own knowledge. He is bringing all of those blessings and he's grounding it into the planet with him. So this is a service to other type of card, right? And the Hierophant represents our guidance and our inner wisdom. And this could be that you're going to be going through some personal spiritual development, right? That you're going to have some activations, which is awesome. And then here's some future feelings about, whatever is coming towards you. This is the Six of Pentacles. Sixes have to do with persevering. It's telling you to keep going. You're going in the right direction. There is some, you're overcoming obstacles that have to do with money. And if you look at this 8 energy here, right, this swirling, I know they call this something, I forget what it is, an infinity sign. I've got that right here. Infinity, right? Infinity sign. That's an infinity. So it's giving and taking. It's giving and taking either of time, of your finances, something that you find valuable, where you're going to be giving and receiving. And this is a great card. And then our final outcome is this Four of Pentacles. The fours have to do with stability. So it looks like we're looking for, Taurus is always looking for stability within their, physical security in their health and wealth, their possessions and their home life. And if you look at her though, she's kind of really hanging on to her little pocketbook here, and she's looking over her shoulder into the city over here. This is actually telling me that she's kind of hanging on to that money a little too tightly. Not that you need to be giving your money away or anything like that, but it also activates your heart center. And when you hang on to something too long, it can be detrimental. So it's just telling you to be more mindful of your heart space. And when you decide that you want to be able to help others, it doesn't necessarily have to be financially. It could be with your time or whatever. But these two kind of really tie in together, giving and receiving. Because if you do that, you're going to find that your stability in your finances are going to increase. Okay? So everything looks really good. There's nothing here for us to be afraid of. I'm going to put myself back on view. Your reading looks great. Yay, Taurus. And now I'm going to pull your last 3 cards. And your first card is the Target, a goal-oriented person. So I think that is us, because we definitely are goal-orienters. A funnel, period of frustration, lessons to be learned. So that could very well tie in with this 7 of Cups, because sometimes we get balled up when we get too many options for us. And that may be bringing a little bit of frustration there. A broken bridge, unsuccessful outcome to a problem. So I don't know what that has to tie into. I don't see anything that is an unsuccessful outcome in this reading. So maybe this is just specific to something that's going on with a few of you, maybe not all of you, is my guess. Okay, Taurus, thank you so much for being here. If you're new to my channel, please like and subscribe. And if you're returning, as always, thank you so much. I hope you have an amazing rest of your month. And I love you all dearly. Make sure to set your intentions. And until next time, take very good care of you. And remember, yes, your intuition is correct. Take actions accordingly. Cheers.